Kaiju no Kami here with
Advent Nebula.
And Cruellica Kain. And I have with me Silver Quill and Crystalage Bloodborne.
at least in spirit, since
Yes.
they can't actually be here for this video review. We're going to be talking about Ultraman Z's first episode that is up on YouTube to watch legally, so you don't need to download fan subs or anything. Go check it out now because they're only keeping up each episode up for 2 weeks on there before you have to go to the illegal means to get it. But you shouldn't have to because you should be watching it right now.
Yes.
Yes, if you're an Ultraman fan, watch it now. Go after this video.
No.
Or pause.
Stop this video, go watch it, then come back because we're going to be doing a lot of spoilers, so you don't want to get spoiled for what we're going to be talking about now, even though it's the first episode. It's not like spoiler galore, but whatever. What did you think of it?
It makes me want to watch O's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The
Kamen
gimmick,
Rider
yeah.
O's.
The gimmick, all I wanted to hear was this deep voice going, 07 Leo, Zetset Lee.
Yeah, when I saw the gimmick, I was like, is this O's?
That's all she said, and that's what she said during the opening thing as well, and I didn't really pay attention to the gimmick until it was in the episode itself. I'm like, oh shit, it really is like O's. God damn.
Yeah, I just wanted to grab the O's belt while we were watching it and kind of play along.
We should have the O's belt for this. Oh well.
But overall, I thought it was a very well done first episode. It really connected with the story, and it didn't feel overly first episode-y.
Yeah, and I
know
also
that's not a word, but still.
was impressed with like I've been, and I haven't seen an Ultraman series since Geed. I actually haven't watched really an episode of Ultraman except the older ones when I've been over that he's been watching. But I've always been impressed with the suit work on the Ultraman. I always expect high quality, but the monster suit and the robot that they have that starts out this episode, all three of the suits I was very impressed with.
And those miniatures.
Yeah,
the miniatures are just impressive. In fact, so I started rewatching Time Ranger this week, and as I'm watching, I'm like, I have to say, I'm been getting spoiled from Ultraman because the miniatures in Sentai look like they just placed buildings far enough for all these monsters and robots to walk through, whereas everything in Ultraman feels like it's an actual city because of how close together it looks.
And you actually see building destruction from the smallest to the largest degree, too.
What?
I was going to say, the other thing I'm really impressed with the miniatures work is the fact that they record it in such a consistent manner so that when they splice the footage together, it actually really feels like the monsters or Ultraman is in the exact same scene
As everyone else.
which is impressive because it's something that doesn't happen as well in Sentai any longer. They actually don't really show the engagement really between everyone else and the monster or the mechs. They just show the monster and the mechs, and then it's basically a deserted town.
Yeah, and you actually, with the opening of this episode, with the chaos, and you actually get a scale that people are getting stepped on by the monster that's at the opening of these
Well,
episodes.
I also like that shot when he's grabbing the dog and when he's running as he's being chased by Gomez, but it's still staying at the street level.
Yeah.
So you're seeing him run as you see Gomez's feet coming towards him and walking and going past him as he's being trailing with the tail and everything.
Oh, absolutely. No. It actually reminded me of Kong Skull Island. I know that's probably not the greatest comparison, but that one scene where they get onto the island and they're running through the creatures, it kind of felt like that in comparison.
I also did like, so Sevenger, I completely forgot about this, but he was actually from one episode of Leo.
Oh.
Which I think the reason why some of his bodysuit looks like a reuse of King Joe is because I think the original Sevenger was a retooled King Joe suit.
Oh, okay, because I
That
know
would
we
make
were
sense.
talking about that when we originally watched the episode,
Yesterday.
is that you had thought of it as King Joe, where they could have done like this whole storyline of it being a retooled King Joe, and then King Joe taking over type thing.
But I also like that the characters all got at least a small moment to shine.
Yeah, you got a small snippet of each of the main character's personality throughout this entire episode.
I'm very suspicious of the commander.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the guy who had to conveniently go to the bathroom after the battle, and then you see the shot of some guy standing there in the foreground holding the medals up, but you don't see his face.
The
Yeah.
problem is, though, and I didn't think about this when we originally watched it, and then you mentioned it right before we watched it, it's Juggler's actor
Yeah.
from Orb. And all you're thinking of is, yes, he's kind of a pseudo-ish good guy in, like, the later part of Orb, but he was a villain, essentially. And I highly doubt it's going to have any connection to each other. But
Maybe this is Juggler's midlife crisis. After Orb, he went to another universe and became the commander of this military group.
But the problem is, Orb appears in a lot of the newer Ultraman, I was about to say Kamen Rider, Ultraman series, and Juggless usually comes with him. So I'm actually kind of curious if this is almost going to be like an existential crisis where we're going to have like
Juggler meets
Metal
that guy.
Gear, Metal Gear, like Snake, Time Paradox.
Well, it wouldn't be Time Paradox, but
You know what I mean, though.
And then the episode's ending with a head that looks suspiciously familiar, but you couldn't make out, possesses a human who's obviously going to be the villain of this series.
I actually thought that was a very creative way of introducing the villain, because you could have just had the villain suddenly walk into the foreground, kind of like what they did with the
Metal Stealer.
obtuse metal stealer, and then you have this character just getting possessed. It was a very creative way to introduce another character.
Well, I also like the way they did it with his movements, where he kind of had the like.
Puppeteer.
Yeah, like his body's been completely possessed by something that doesn't know
Well,
human
it reminded
anatomy.
me of Grieza from Ultraman X. The way Grieza would move when Grieza was just like.
Actually, it reminded me of the, because apparently I'm going with Hollywood movies tonight, when we were watching Age of Ultron. Or,
Oh, when Ultron first appears?
yes.
Oh.
And he acts like Pinocchio with that no strings on me. That's all I was thinking of, is hearing the No Strings on Me song from Pinocchio. Just because it is. And that's the one thing I will say I love about Japanese films. I actually want to see Japanese do a tried and true zombie movie, which they've only done the animated version of, just because they have such creative way of doing the choreography for movements. It will be
Versus is technically a zombie movie.
yes, but like a tried and true like Dawn of the Dead or Night of the Living Dead zombie movie, but takes place in Japan.
Basically, where the zombies are back to being the slow moving.
Yes, because I would be curious to see how the Japanese interpretation would be when they have how a lot of their actors will take on that very chaotic and stuttered movement.
Sunrise of the Dead.
Oh, that would be awesome. Japan, you know what to do next.
Dead of the Sunrise.
The problem is culturally zombies just don't work in Japan, but we need to have a zombie apocalypse somewhere.
Now, Hikari is probably one of the more hot-blooded protagonists I've seen start out as an Ultraman hero.
He is. He, at least, he doesn't have the sense of innocence that Jeed has. What?
Oh, no. I thought it was like Haruki or...
I can't pronounce.
Hikari.
I saw it so many times that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to forget it now, and
Yeah.
I've forgotten it all again already. But He's a likable character. I like the scene. So when he's with Zet, I like when Zet's like Haruki, yes. When Zet's like, you need to say my name. You need to put more spirit into it.
Yes.
And then when he does, and he's just standing there, and he's like, hey, you have to press the trigger.
Yeah, the fourth wall break there was actually pretty creative.
Well, it was very well done because it was reminiscent of the early Ultraman series. Because you even mentioned at the moment we're seeing all this activity, the first time we watched it, you're like, I wonder if he's going to die. Because you thought he was originally going to die when saving the dog.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because of Return of Ultraman. I was like, oh, is he going to die saving the dog like Go did? And then I was like, oh, no, he didn't.
Because a lot of the early Ultraman series do have a catalyst, so to speak, of the main actor dying in a noble sacrifice, and which is what gives the Ultraman du jour the chance to say, well, we respect what you did, here you go, here's a one-up type thing.
But the twist of them both dying to save the school.
Well, that was a twist, because I would have never thought of Zeto dying as well.
I like that. You're dead, and I guess I'm dead too.
Well, the immaturity of Zet, whatever, is going to work, I think, in our favor, because for character narrative, you're going to have Haruki be a little bit more mature, but innocent, but not as innocent as Jeed was. And then you're going to have this hot-blooded Ultraman who is having to learn nobility and humility from a human.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one. I do like the one comment's like, gee, how many masters did you have?
Oh, the mentors, yeah.
Oh, yeah, when it's like, yeah, that's Leo 7 and 0, my mentors. You got a lot of mentors. And then, yep, and then there's Ace.
When I first read it, I thought it said Mentos. I was like, yeah.
The Fresh Maker?
Yeah.
Well, I'm here in the Japanese space, Shishio, which means sensei or master as well. It's just like, okay, this could be translated several different ways.
The hard part is every time I hear Shishio, I always think of Rurouni Kenshin, but that's just me. You should know.
I know, my favorite character.
I know. Because he literally eats fire.
But the other thing, I did like the battery scene with the Sevenger, when you see the battery pop out of
just
his
get
back.
ejected right out of it. And like, okay, 3 minutes, and then, wait, you're almost out of power too?
That was hilarious. And the show is taking itself seriously, but not taking itself seriously.
It's having fun with itself, which is helping with a good first episode.
Now, the one tragic side to this, I don't know if you heard about this, but the head writer died.
Ooh.
Yeah, the head writer died a couple weeks ago, so that sucked.
Wow, you sound so heartbroken. It really is a terrible thing to have someone who, from the way it sounded from what you had told me, he's done a lot within the Ultraman world.
I don't know.
It sounded like it, and so, but no matter what, it's always a sad thing when somebody passes. It's always a tragedy to have it, and I think what's more tragic is he doesn't get to see the finished product of what he put all this work into.
Yeah.
So all I can hope is that this can be a great
Final send-off for him.
Exactly. It can be a way to honor his memory, and I hope that if the story was not complete prior to his passing, that
They do it justice.
They do. That they don't try to go easy and quick and just fill in the blanks, that they actually truly give it the credit it deserves.
Though Tsuburaya seems to know what they're doing, and so I do have faith they can do it.
They do for the most part. Even when they make mistakes, they still do something that works.
And I do think the fact they only have 24 to 26 episode orders helps on Ultraman shows
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Well, you can kind of see it in just the effects work of even the first episode. Usually the first episode is the one that they play it safe on, not to blow their budget too quickly, which is what you usually see in
I don't know.
Sentai Kamen Rider.
Usually they put a lot of their money in the first episode because that's the episode that has to sell the show. But again, unlike Sentai Kamen Rider, because usually Sentai Kamen Rider, their first episodes are all about the flashiness, and then in the next episodes they'll really give you a taste of the characters' personalities.
Well, and that's usually the challenge when it comes to other versions of tokusatsu that are longer, is that you have to really give it 2 to 3 episodes to really say if you're going to commit. Where Ultraman just doesn't have that time. So they have to sell.
I also like the short executive guy.
Oh,
when the girl
God.
hands him the thing to drink.
Oh, that just sounds disgusting.
And he's like, what is it?
Banana,
mustard.
spinach, and mustard.
Mustard, spinach, banana, and Nalto.
Ugh. The Nato was probably where I was like,
Oh, God.
Oh, all of it except for the banana. I was like, but then he's like, okay, that's pretty good. Don't.
And then he starts yelling at the guys again.
Well, I think what I really loved is when you have the commander with Haruki, and Haruki is just standing there stoically, not showing any emotion, but he's not showing any remorse, and so his commander grabs him on the ass, squeezes to show pain.
You're like, see, sir, he's crying on the inside.
Oh my God. I thought it was perfect. And it does make me laugh every time I see Juggless's actor next to somebody, because his actor's only like 5'8", 5'9", which is average height for a Japanese man. And it's always funny when you get those random Japanese individuals that just tower.
The ones that are about the size of an average American.
Yes! It always makes me laugh because you'll see, but then again when you have the commander, because the average height for a Japanese woman is about 5'3". And so if you assume that the one girl is average height of 5'3", what does that make that commander? I'm like, he's gotta be about 4'11", 5 foot.
Yeah.
Which I understand.
And they're playing a joke with the height thing, too.
Well, but that's a very common thing, because I know there's a comedic duo in Japan where one is extremely tall, one is extremely short, and they use that as almost like the straight man versus the comic relief type thing. Almost like an Abbott Costello type situation.
So, opening and ending themes.
Well, the ending, I have to listen to that again because it felt like that. Well, because of the commercials, it didn't feel like it could connect with the ending. So that I'll have to leave off for a different video, which with this we'll probably end up doing our recordings more frequently because we have limited time.
Yeah.
But for the opening, I actually do like it, and it actually reminds me of the Orb second series.
Orb Origin?
Orb Origin series, because it shows all the characters almost like in a flashcard, outlining them where they have the actor name and the character name, which I really appreciated.
I had to run to the restroom, so I didn't get a chance to hear the closing, but the opening, I liked the way it was designed with everything kind of techie. Mm-hmm. And kind of flowing with the gimmick, and at the same time it was an upbeat opening.
I like them both. I'm usually not big on ending themes, so the ending theme I thought is fine. It's not like the best ending theme ever, but I've heard a lot worse ending themes. It seems to fit really well. It's got like a good tone to it, so it's taking you out of the episode like it's supposed to. The opening theme I like. It's not my favorite opening for the new stuff. I don't know really which is my favorite opening for the new stuff. Probably because I don't really listen to the openings that much.
Well, the thing for me is I'm a big opening song fan. I love opening songs, and if it really hits me, it has to hit me to the point where I'm willing to go out of my way to seek it out to purchase it.
Which
And-
you do.
Oh, I purchased quite a few opening songs because I like to support it. And Kamen Rider usually is the biggest one for me. Then it goes usually anime before Sentai, because sadly Sentai doesn't always have too many memorable ones
Not anymore.
that I'm willing to go out of my way for.
But yeah, I don't know, the openings, they're fine. I have no complaints.
They're functional.
Yeah, they're functional. They work. Nothing mind-blowing. Nothing like the Time Ranger opening. What? That is one of the best. That might be the best Sentai opening.
I will
ever.
agree with him on that.
He's been rewatching Time Ranger,
Yeah.
so I've had to listen to Time Ranger a lot recently.
Yes, like you with your almond flour and coconut flour and stuff. But anyway, so pretty much you're both in for more episodes,
Yeah,
right?
I'm in for
Yes,
keeping on this
I'm
one.
willing to watch it. Well, that sounds terrible, like I didn't like it. No, I'm eager to watch it. My fear, just like my fear has been with any tokusatsu or tokusatsu in general, is while Ultraman has a good track record, my fear is you're always going to potentially have that one, like I think it's Ginga's first season. Wasn't it Ginga?
Yes.
Yes.
But that was their first time doing an Ultraman series in like 7-8 years.
So Ginga's first season was very challenging for me to get through, but its second season is what kind of really sold it. So I always have this fear going in for any tokusatsu of potentially getting burned. And right now I have to say, knocking on wood, for the most part, everything tokusatsu in 2020 is doing fairly well. Knocking on wood again.
Not Garo versus Road.
Well, he hasn't even fought the damn road
Well, I
yet.
haven't seen that one. So at least what I've
Well-
seen with Kira Major, 01, and at least the first episode of Zet.
Well, from what I've been, because one guy's been posting reviews on it, he says that nothing has happened in the show. And I asked him, has Garo started fighting the road yet?
Okay, so let's not get into a Garo allegation review because we're in Ultraman.
Okay, so what do Chris Lidge and Silver Quill think?
So Chris Lidge, I guess what I don't know. The world is going to hell, and I'm a walking corpse.
You're doing it wrong.
I don't know.
Where's my phone? I need to get on my phone. I need to go down to the internet real quick.
Okay, then what would Silverquill say? Advent?
I'm enjoying the show very much. I love the colors and everything. I'm going to keep watching, but
The dog!
the dog! I love the doggy! They saved the doggy! Okay, doggy wins. I'm going to keep watching. I need more of the doggy.
It's like all types of damn! Monokuma. Alright. Until next time.
Which will probably be next week.
Yeah.
Or we'll do them like every 2 weeks or something.
Next week. Bye!
Bye.